Our draw commands are on the ribbon in the Home tab, this first panel here, this draw panel. Line, click the command. Always look at your command bar to specify first point. Click anywhere else, and when you're done, you hit enter. If you were to keep clicking, I'm going to go back into the command by hitting enter. If you were to keep clicking, you're going to get multiple line segments. So if I select all these, that's actual individual objects, and I can view that there's 4 lines in my properties box. If you don't have your properties box up, type in PR on the keyboard and hit enter. That will bring you up your properties box. This is different from a polyline, where starting that command, it works the same way. By default, you are drawing lines, although you can also add in arcs to polylines. And you can kind of keep clicking until you're done. Then you can hit enter or escape. And then when I select on this, it's a single object. Right there it just says polyline, that means 1. And then if I select all my lines here, you can see they look different as well. In the middle of each segment of the polyline, you have kind of a rectangular bar, and on the regular lines, it's a square. I'll come back to polylines with arcs in a minute. Let's move on to arc, and we can click the arc, and it'll specify start point. Click anywhere you want. Then we're going to specify the second point of the arc, which is basically the point it's traveling through, and then the end point of the arc, and we can click anywhere that is. Now, if we want to combine lines and arcs into a single entity, we would use Polyline. Let's go back there. Click Polyline. Specify start point. Click. I'm going to go straight over, and then click for a line, and then I'm going to do A for arc. So A, enter. And then it's going to act a little differently. It's actually going to default to the end point only. So if I click somewhere, it's just the end point. I don't get to choose the point it's going through. So if I want to choose the point it's going through, I'm going to hit S for second point. Now I can click anywhere. Like let's say I wanted to travel through that point. Then I know that wherever I move the end point, it's always going to touch that point that I selected there. Click again. And then if I want to go back to a line, just hit L right here. It says L for line. You can also hit that. And click away. When you're all done, hit enter. Once again, we can verify this is a single polyline in our properties box. If you want to draw a circle, then we will go to the circle command. Circles are just single entities. And by default, it's going to ask for the center point. And then you can click out and basically make the circle bigger or smaller. Click when you're done, and it will automatically close out of the command for you. If you want the circle to be a specific size, click the center, and then you can, by default, it's going to ask for a radius. So if you want a radius of, let's say, 10 inches, you're going to type in 10, enter, depending on your drawing units. And then you can also do something handy with circles that I use often is tan radius. Basically, you have maybe 2 lines that you're going to be tangent to, and then a specific radius. So I'm going to do T, enter, for tan radius, and say the first tangent point, let's say I want it to be on this line. The second, I want it to be on this line. And then the radius, I want to be 2. And you can see that we know it's exactly tangent at both of those points, and the radius is 2. And that is kind of a basic rundown of the draw commands. I'll have another video up at some point that will go more in detail on these draw commands.